besties, I'm Dana. I know what you're thinking. You're green. I am. Because today we're doing an Emerald City inspired makeup look, which I am so excited to do. I absolutely adored this idea. When I saw the first couple Wicked trailers, I was like, oh my gosh, a completely green emerald look would be so amazing. Like, I'm about to go to a party at Emerald City, or basically Alphaba Goes Glam, and I really like the outcome. Before I start rambling more, let's get into the video. Let's get started. First things first, let's put on some contacts. Since we're doing an Emerald City look, I think it's only fair that we do green eye contacts. I'm going to use these right here. And y'all already know I'm blind, so let's take out my normal ones. Aren't these cute? Let's do the other side. Obviously, you don't have to do contacts, but I just think they make all the difference. Now let's actually get started with the makeup. You guys know the drill. I'm starting with my eyebrows. Today I'm using my Refi brow pencil. I find it hard sometimes to find a good undertone on a dark brown because I have such dark eyebrows. I feel like this one's really subtle and nice and doesn't stand out too much. I know that sounds weird, but when I use a dark brown, sometimes it you can see it underneath, and I am not a big fan of that. I really like that this one has a little bit of an ashiness to it. I want to keep my brows fairly natural because I want this to be a glam look. We're going to some party at the Emerald City, so those are the vibes we're going for. Very luxurious. I kind of just focus it on the ends, being more cautious the closer I get to the front of my brow and spooling it out. You do your eyebrows your favorite way, because I feel like eyebrows are so personalized, like all makeup, but eyebrows specifically. Like, if you know how you like your eyebrows, you know how you like your eyebrows, you know? Once I fill these in to my liking, I'm just gonna carve them and use that same concealer as primer for my lids. We do this almost every single video. I'm gonna carve out my eyebrows today using my Makeup Forever stick foundation. I love this stuff. And I'm using my handy dandy flat concealer brush. You guys know I love this thing. And I'm just gonna stamp and drag to get a really nice clean shape. You do your shape to your liking. I just want to keep mine very neat. I'm also using this as primer instead of my usual e.l.f. concealer because it's brighter and I really want our colors to pop. I'm just buffing this out though so that it's not too thick. You don't want to have super cakey layers on your lid. And I'm setting that with some translucent powder, like so. Of course, don't forget to do the same on the other side. Blending is key. Don't forget to set it. I had a vision for this look for a while since I saw the first couple trailers for the movie, so I'm very excited to put it into action. I literally told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna do it really close to the release. Maybe one day I'll get to go to a cool premiere for a cool movie like that. Here. But for now, let's get into eyeshadow. I had the vision to make a very smoky glam effect. I'm gonna do that while using my Viseart Grande, or Grand, I don't know how they pronounce it in Viseart, but Pro Volume 3 palette. I love this palette because it has just such a great variety of colors and it has a really great variety of greens, which is exactly what we're going to be needing. For this, I'm going to be working dark to light, starting with this really dark bluish green shade up here. Using an angled brush, I'm going to go in with that color and straight off the bat create a wing. If you usually struggle with eyeliner, you'll find that doing it with eyeshadow is a lot easier. I'm going to take it all the way across. I want a very almost foxy type of wing. And in my inner corner, I'm going to make sure that I give myself an inner cat eye. You guys know how much I love doing these. And once I just have the concept of a wing, I'm going to move on to my next color. Remember, you can always add more, but it's hard to take away dark colors. I'm going in with the emerald green below that shade, and I'm just going to pack it right on top. I'm taking it all the way to the end. You want to overlap the colors so you get the best blend possible. Once my color starts to kind of get off the brush, and is barely there, I'm going to start going back and forth with it to try to blend this out. And upwards onto my lid. You really want to get a smoky effect. And I'm winging it out all the way past my brow. You'll find that this look is actually not very hard at all. I'm going to take a sort of flat, fluffy brush, and I'm going to take a bright green, and I'm going to start fading out that edge with my bright, almost lime green. And you'll see that it'll start to blend very easily. I'm taking it all the way up to my brow bone. Now this is where you get to play the back and forth game, meaning that I'm going to go between my colors because I want my second shade to be a little bit more prominent. So I'm going to go back in and take it a little bit higher, smoking it outwards and making sure that I am trying to blend it so I don't get too much of a harsh line. And once I take it upwards to where I like it, I'm going to take that same brush that I used for my light green and I'm going to start buffing out the edges. Overlapping the color is totally fine. You really just want to get that nice blend. I'm creating my wing once more. just to make it really prominent. Like I said, it's a back and forth game. You just go back and forth with these colors until you like the blend you've come up with and how high the colors go. And this totally varies by eye shape too, so if yours goes higher than mine, that's totally cool. I would say a good way to see if you like it is just by looking straight and seeing how it looks. Once you're somewhat happy with your blend, take some concealer or foundation and just really sharpen that line. And I'm just going to blend all that product downwards. I'm doing the same thing to my inner corner. Before I do anything else, I'm going to repeat my steps on the other side. Again, starting with my wing. Little cat eye. I love cat eyes. Do you guys like cat eyes? I think they just add a little something. I'm adding my second shade on top, the emerald green. Adding my light green, my favorite. This green reminds me of something and I can't put my finger on it. Laffy Taffy. Do you guys ever see those green Laffy Taffies? I think it's Laffy Taffy. Blending. Blending, blending, blending. I'm going back in with my back and forth between colors type of thing that I was doing on the other side. Doing gradients like this is honestly so fun. I think the result is always pretty. Again, I'm sharpening the heck out of this wing. Can't forget our inner eye. You should be looking somewhat like this. Before we do anything else to our eyes, let's move on to our base. For my base, I'm gonna do a classic glam base. So use your favorite foundation and apply that like normal. I'm using my everyday foundation at the moment, which is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever. And I'm just going to apply that like I usually would. This foundation makes skin look like skin, so it's perfect for this glam look. Are you an Elfie girl or a Glinda girl? I feel like I resonate with both, to be honest. Be super careful working around your wing because you don't want to make it disappear on accident. We're all good witches here. And for my concealer, I'm going to continue to use my Makeup Forever stick. So I'm just going to apply that on the areas I usually would concealer, which would be my under eye, my forehead, and my chin. I'm going to use my stiffer concealer brush to blend that all out. Another reason why I'm using that Makeup Forever stick is because I really want a bright under eye. I'm taking my foundation brush one more time just to blend those two together before setting everything with my Ben 9 No Color Powder. Really pressing in that powder to set everything. If you've never used a puff to set your makeup, go get one. Trust me, it'll change your life. Now it's time to sculpt, and I'm going to use my Sigma Sculpt Palette. I'm going to use this bottom shade right here. I'm taking a smaller fluffy brush, packing that color in, and I'm going to start right here at the top of my ear and start buffing this in circular motions, going downwards towards my cheekbone. And I'm also going to blend this up into my temple and using my ear as a guide, and kind of trickling it down my cheekbone, kind of towards my nose and upwards. And I'm also going to add it underneath here to really emphasize my jaw, even though I don't have a jawline, but you know, we can pretend sometimes. I'm going to use my Too Faced Butterfly Babe blush, taking a fluffy blush brush, and I'm really going to pack this on. I'm focusing it on the apples of my cheeks, but also kind of angling it so it goes with the contour. I definitely want a lot of blush. Glam is so fun. Now that we have the blush down, I'm gonna bake underneath using my ear as a guide, emphasizing underneath to get a good cut. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And while baking, I also like to add powder in the corners right here to really give that inner brightness. And it helps if you tend to crease a lot in your nose like I do. And I'm also adding powder to my forehead. But while we bake, we're gonna do our under eye. Using the same angled brushes we've been using because we're resourceful, I'm going to go in with the darkest shade I started with, and I'm going to apply that all over my waterline and go straight across. And I'm basically connecting both sides. Be very careful when you're doing this part. You don't want to poke yourself. But I am going to want to smudge this out, so I am really dragging it downwards. Then going in with my second color, my teal, I'm going to layer it right on top, but we really want to fade this out. I'm taking a teeny bit of that light green, and we're going to fade out the edge. And it's just going to give us that little pop of color at the end. Once I have that blend, I'm adding a little bit of powder on my inner corner just to let that bake while I do the other side. Layering all of my colors. Smoke it out with your light green. Adding my powder to the inner corner like I did on the other side. And while that bakes for just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and take away this powder underneath, blending out. Once that's set for a little bit, I'm just going to dust it off. Now we're going to move on to the main event of this look, which is going to be all of the rhinestones, aka our emeralds. I'm going to use a variety of rhinestones using lash glue and tweezers. I'm going to apply small rhinestones first around the perimeter of my eye look. Rhinestones are totally freestyle. You put them where you think they would look good. I'm kind of letting mine kind of spread out. I'm also taking bigger rhinestones in a different shade of green, kind of mixing them in with the little ones to give a little bit of variety. We're going for that totally bedazzled look. I'm like totally freestyling my placement. Just kind of pick your placement as you go. This is what she's looking like so far. Very cutesy. Dare I say demure. We're looking really wicked. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You need patience for rhinestones. Unless you're not as picky as I am, then just put them wherever. But I'm very picky. Using a bunch of tiny rhinestones reminds me of like sprinkles. And this is what she's looking like. We're gonna stop here for now. We could always come back to it. Let's move on to finishing up the eyes. So I'm gonna add some mascara to my top and bottom lashes. Now while that dries, we're gonna move on to our lips. For our lip, I'm gonna do a very nude lip. I'm gonna start by lining my lips with NYX's Nude Truffle, and I'm gonna use a little mirror to see closely. I'm doing a nude lip because I want my eyes and all the green to pop. I don't want a really bold lip to overpower the rhinestones. Once I have my lips lined, I'm gonna go ahead and fill them in with a liquid lipstick. This is the Sephora Collection shade 40. It's very cool toned, which is pretty much what I'm after for this look. And I love the formula of this. It's not dry at all. Once that's applied, you want to make sure this is completely dry before we move on to our next step, which is going to be more rhinestones. So let's get into it because this is dry now. So basically, we're going to bedazzle half of our lip. If there was a strategy to it, I would tell you, obviously, but it's honestly just like this, freestyle, varying in sizes and colors, and just kind of going with the flow. Again, I'm using lash glue. I'm starting out with the small ones at the edges. As I move towards the center, I'm going to start making them a little bit more spread out. When it comes to rhinestoning your lips, I really recommend you go over your lip line so that it doesn't look so closed in, especially if you have smaller lips like I do. I'm just playing around with my placement, and this is how we're looking so far. Looking very bedazzled. Now that I've completed my freestyle bedazzling on my lips and I'm very happy with it, I'm actually going to go ahead and add some more rhinestones to the side right here, so it goes from really close together to really far apart. Kind of mimicking this over here because I actually really like how it looks. I'm adding the bigger dark green ones because I didn't add any originally, so that's going to give me that kind of close together to spread out effect. I told you we might come back to it. Finally adding the last rhinestone. This is how we're looking. Now let's add some lashes. I'm going to be using these cat eye lashes. I'm not going to trim them just because it looks like they fit kind of perfectly. I'm using my tweezers to kind of guide these into place. Letting these dry, I'm curling my lashes so they're facing upwards. I finished putting on my lashes and we're just about done, but first we're going to add some black eyeliner, blend in our lashes. I'm also going to add a little bit of black eyeliner to my bottom waterline. It's really going to make our eyes pop. You can see the difference between this eye and this eye. I'm doing the same to the other side. Our very last step is adding mascara to our lashes to blend them in and make them pop with our own. And just like that, this look is complete. I love this makeup look. And I don't say that about all my makeup looks. I think it's just the concept that came to reality from my head. And I love Wicked and I'm so excited for the movie. So let me know if you guys are watching it and let me know what you think of this look. If you recreate it, let me know what you think about it. This is literally my vision come to life. I love it when that happens with my makeup look, so I'm so happy with this. And if you like this look, you're gonna like next week's look because it's also possibly Wicked themed. Stay tuned for that. You guys know I post once a week, at least. If you want to see cool pictures of this look, go follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok for cool videos. And good news, I got my original username back on TikTok, so you can find me under @I'm Dana Belen officially again. So look me up under that. My username is the same on all platforms. Tag me if you try this out or take anything from it, so I could like your posts, follow you, and repost them. Let me know what other looks you'd like to see and if you liked this one. And again, if you like Wicked, you might like next week's video. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye besties. Thank you so much for watching.